In this video, I'm going to talk about Scaf. Scaf is a general purpose command line project initialization tool. It is a universal scaffolding tool. I created it for the 2023 Penn West Spring Code Jam as a submission in the Automate Life category. I've actually had the idea for this sort of project for a while. I even made something vaguely similar with Python a while back, but it was very buggy and worked through a command line interface rather than command line arguments. And I sort of took some of the thoughts I had from that experience and used that to build Scaf, which I did in C++, which is a language that it's not my number one language. But it was very enjoyable to improve my skills in that domain. This video is going to start with a demo of Scaf and then continue with me coding on the second day of the Code Jam, sped up to a very high speed with some of my little brother's music in the background. Thanks for watching. Welcome to this short presentation on Scaf. Scaf is a universal project scaffolding tool. The idea behind it is that we often repeat the same file system actions as we create new projects that look a lot like projects that we've created before. Scaf tries to take away some of that boilerplate by implementing a template and instancing system for new projects. So Scaf's on my path, so anywhere on my computer when I run Scaf, I can access the binary. Running just Scaf will give me information about it. I can run Scaf help to get some information for a particular command. You can see here that I'm getting this warning. I don't have a template directory loaded. Scaf requires that you pick one directory on your hard drive that's going to hold all of your template folders. So I have this templates folder created here. I'm going to just cd into that. And I'm going to run scaf root with no additional parameters to make that my root template directory now. Now I have access to all these templates. If I run scaf list, I can see the list of these templates. I can provide info for them if I want. So let's say I want to talk about this C++ template. It's really very basic, no makefile, some tests. Now let's say I'm starting up a new C++ project. I know it's going to be pretty small, but I want to have a couple unit tests in it. I don't want to go through all the process of Googling stuff and figuring out how to set up my folder. So I'm going to use Scaf to scaffold that. So let's cd over here, and we're going to run the command load. We'll call it new CPP. It doesn't exist. We'll create the directory. And now we have this folder, new CPP. Oh, let's say new CPP wasn't really what I wanted to do. Let's say I'm in there now. And I actually wanted this to be a C project. So I'm going to do scaf load C stub. This C stub is just a very simple C project, also with some basic unit tests. It says I'm not empty, and it wants to clear out the whole directory. If I say no, nothing happens. If I say yes, it's going to remove everything in the directory except for the .get folder, and it is going to replace it with the folders and files from the template that's stored in the root directory. Give another example. Let's say I have this webpack ts folder. This has some basic JavaScript, TypeScript stuff going on. It was kind of a pain to set up TypeScript config.json and webpack config.js. I'd really rather just kind of start from a base if I'm making a new TypeScript webpack project. So I'm going to run Scaf load again, and I'm going to run that webpack ts. I'm going to call it new webpack. Just go ahead and create the directory. And now I can work on my new webpack project here. It's also simple to, let's say I really made some changes here, made some optimizations. I want to add this as a template now. Let's add it. And this is an optional parameter, but I can give it a template name different from its folder. It'll default to the folder name. Let's call it Web2. And I'll even give it some info. Now I have a new template here that I can instance anywhere, again, on my computer that I want. And when I run list, I can see that I've added that to my list of available templates. If I have a lot of templates, I can just filter them, do a sort of prefix filter. It's only going to show me things that start with the prefix that I pass in here. Other useful commands you can do are you can get info on just a particular template. You could rename a template. Let's call Web2 Web3. And if I run info on Web3, we see the info moves over as well. I can also, of course, remove templates. So that's the basics of Scaf. It's a simple, but I hope you can see how powerful this tool can be for reducing the startup time on new projects and just for generally just iterating them. I've noticed a lot of times I get deep into learning about a particular piece of software and then I move off and I'm looking at other pieces of software. Maybe 6 months later I come back. Well, those templates are still right there. They give me a really nice starting off point to have my project set up the way I want. I like writing templates to be pretty simple, basic, but have most of the configurations set up. Things like makefiles, tsconfig.jsons, and maybe some instantiations of the base libraries you'll use. This isn't just useful for programmers either. This is completely language agnostic, and it can be used for anything with the directory structure. So you could imagine you're preparing a monthly report. It looks the same as all of your previous monthly reports. You have an Excel document with your profit over time, and maybe a Word document that writes it up, and a PowerPoint presentation. Well, rather than go through all the process of finding the last month's report, copying it, pasting it, and so forth, you create a template, and from the command line you can instance that very rapidly. Thanks for listening to my presentation, and goodbye. Believe the rest of this video will be me coding in 100 times speed. Thanks again. Bye-bye.